hype about living the dream? It's time for truth. This is the place for tools, power, and real talk so you can create the life you dream and deserve. Your ultimate life. Subscribe, share, create. You have infinite power.
Hey there, welcome to today's episode of Your Ultimate Life. I'm super excited about this. This is the fourth one in how to build a business. And not that everybody who watches this wants to build a business, but let's frame it this way. Maybe you want to build a business like it's your full-time gig and does everything you want it and you don't need another job. Maybe you want to build a side hustle where you have a job and it takes care of your dimes, your regular monthly expenses, and you want to do something that's either a hobby or for fun on the side, or maybe you have a passion project. You want to do something that adds good to the world. Lots of people start with that. And here's how that all starts, right? You have a job, you're going through life, and maybe you got married, maybe you didn't, maybe you have kids, maybe you didn't, but you have stuff that happens to you in the world. And that stuff, almost always the good stuff is fun, but it fades away. But the hard stuff sticks in your mind like glue, right? You remember every betrayal and the times that people stabbed you in the back at the office, or your partner betrayed you, or maybe you've got leftover CPTSD, complex PTSD from childhood abuse or trauma. Or, someone did stuff to you when you were younger, and I use stuff all inclusive. None of that's fun, and I'm not trivializing any of it. Sometimes it hangs over all of our lives, and it hangs on until we do something to let it go. Maybe in the process of letting it go or learning to deal with that, you have overcome this, and you've created this awesomeness about yourself. What a blessing. And then you want to do something with that awesomeness. Maybe you want to write a book about what happened to you. Maybe you want to create a community of support around dealing with death or dealing with the cancer, the illness of a loved one. I've got a friend right now, he's not a client, but he's a good friend, who has a cancer survival stuff because he's survived decades now with cancer on and off. And he's amazing. Stuff's powerful. He does other things too, but that's one piece of his powerful story. So often that's what drives us. And whether you started as a full-on business with the intent to replace everything that you're doing, or whether you have it as a side hustle, or a side hustle you hope turns into something, or just a passion project you want to do to add good to the world. I've got a friend, not a friend, actually he's my brother-in-law, who writes music, and he writes beautiful arrangements, sacred stuff, hymns and stuff that he's done tons of that. And he's got a website for it, and lots of choirs and things use his arrangement. I've seen one, and it's funny because he and I've written a lot of music also for choir, and he's put it up on a website, and I haven't done that yet. And it's fabulous. I love the fact that he's done that. And what was really cool is I was in a stake here in Canada, and he lives in the in the eastern part of the U.S. And our state choir director, brought an arrangement, and I saw that it was one of my brother-in-law's arrangements that had been accessed off the web, and he gives it away for free. And it's wonderful. It's a passion project. Now, he's an engineer and does chip design and other stuff, PhD and everything, but this is a passion project he does to add good to the world. So whether it's a passion project or whether it is a side hustle or whether it's a full-on business, there are steps and processes to make it work, right? To make it successful, to make it grow, to make it powerful. Now, I see some glitchiness in the video, and if you're watching the video, I'm sorry for that. I'm not going to stop and restart everything to eliminate a few glitches. So here's the question. I decided to do 7 full-on episodes. And I did a series a little while ago, 8 episodes about eliminating fear, the different ways it shows up in your life, and how to get rid of it. Because fear kills more dreams than anything. Anything. There's nothing that's more powerful than fear for eliminating dreams that you have that you want to do. So I did that 8-part series on fear. Now, this is a 7-part series on building business. The first episode was number 930. So if you haven't done those, back up a couple. This is the 4th one. 930 is called Building a Business. Number 931, the next one was, and I did them in the order that I thought they needed to be, Building a business is sort of the broad sense of what you need to think about before you build a business. Again, whether it's tiny or whether you intend it to take over the world. The next thing was developing a growth mindset, because nobody wants to build, and when I look down here, I'm looking at my podcast book that the names are in, developing a growth mindset, which is the most important thing you can develop when you're building a business, whether it's a passion project or a side hustle, is the mindset attributes of growth. Because you're not doing this for fun. You're not doing it for it to flop or to help two people. Now, if you bust your butt and it ends up helping two people, most people that do it out of love and service are still happy. But the point is you want it to grow and do as much good as you can, as wide as you possibly can. Of course you do. So that was why mindset is next, because the growth mindset is foundational after you've done you understand the framework of building a business. The third one, which was just the last episode, is called finding your value proposition. And that's one where people struggle a lot. And I put a whole episode in on that because you inherently know that the thing you have to share and give is valuable. It would help people if they just knew X. If you could just talk to them about Y. If you could just share your experiences and things with them, you know that would be of service. And yet most people don't. They don't really value what they have. They know sort of inside would be valuable, blah, 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 but they don't really believe it. You know, it's like, well, everybody said this already. Well, maybe I don't need to do this. Well, and all the crap that you've told yourself. You already know exactly what I'm talking about because you've done it. So finding and owning, deeply and truthfully owning your value proposition. I was on a mastermind call this morning, quasi-mastermind. It's not like that. Well, it is kind of. But anyway, we were talking about some powerful fundamental laws of the universe. And this one was called about investing. But anyway, it was actually an investors group call. And we were talking about when you're making a pitch to an investor group or an investor to fund or support what you're doing in some way, that the most important thing isn't your pitch deck or even the driver. They invest in both the idea and in the driver, the jockey and the horse kind of thing. The most important thing is how you show up, who you're being, right? And so that is so part of the growth mindset. So today, number 4, we're going to talk about creating products and services. So after you have that and you own truly your value proposition, and you know not only that you have something super valuable that would change the world, because it will, and something super powerful that you love and you're passionate about, and you've been through, and you know, you have to dimensionalize it. You have to figure out how to package it, right? One way to do it would just be to put little memes up, encouragement memes. The death of a loved one isn't the end, or you will meet your loved ones again, or there is a way to get past grief and pain caused by death. A death of a friend or a loved one or a parent or something. You could put up quips and quotes like that, and that would be inserting a message in the marketplace. It's not very effective if you want to grow a business. It's certainly not very effective if you want to reach a lot of people, because social media, all of the platforms and channels are buried in that crap. So you have to do more than that. Today, we're talking about creating products and services. So, what I mean by that is after you have owned your message, owned your superpower, owned your unique selling proposition, after you really own it and you know that you have it, you have to figure out how you're going to present it to the world, how you're going to make it available. Like I said, you can start with a bunch of memes, or you could write articles on Medium and have a series of articles about overcoming the grief of death with a loved one. I have a dear friend who's a client for a little while, and she has made a career, a business, a successful business out of helping people understand that death is not the end. And she interviews mediums, and I've been on her podcast since I had a death experience. I died once. And, the community that she's created is around, number 1, supporting people who are experiencing death of a loved one. 2, presenting all kinds of evidence from mediums to after-death communication to all kinds of stuff that there's tons of that we're scared of and don't talk about to help people understand death isn't the end. And her book, We Don't Die, was the beginning of it. And the theme, obviously, is death isn't the end. You don't really die. You just transition. And while we're sad here, the reality, absolute reality is that the spirit, the essence of who we are, continues. Okay, cool. So that's, and so she's created a community. She wrote a book. She's created a community. She has a podcast. She has a show on YouTube and has a very large audience worldwide. And so she makes some money from that. I don't know if it's her only source of income or not, but I know she monetizes it appropriately and has created some products and services. So that's where we are in the business journey. If you're going to create a business, you have to have a product or service. Now, if you're in the drop shipping business where you buy stuff and resell it yourself, or drop shipping is where you buy it and somebody else ships it. My wife is a 20-something year eBay veteran, 25-year, I think, or more, 25-year eBay veteran. And she has done all kinds of stuff. She had a couple of in-person antique malls, and she had a robust eBay store, and she sold antique glassware, china of all kinds, made in Japan and made in Europe and made in England and all kinds of stuff. She did that in silver and antiques and collectibles. So that was her business. And she did that for a long time. That may be, you sell a product that way. And, we used to go to auction sales and all kinds of stuff. And I would just go as the pack horse to take boxes of silverware and estate sales. And, she would bid on them if she saw stuff that was good, and et cetera, et cetera. Now so those are physical products. Drop shipping is where other people have it and you just sell it. You create a website and you sell their stuff and then they ship it. It's very popular on the Amazon model where you create a thing that sells Amazon products. It was funny. The other day, Joy bought something on eBay and guess what? It came in an Amazon package, which means that someone was looking at Amazon thinking people probably aren't finding this. Or maybe I can do a better job. So they put a listing up on eBay and they didn't have the product or service, but they knew Amazon did. So we bought it on eBay and it came from Amazon. That's the drop shipping model. But the point is there's still products and services. Now I'm talking fast because there's lots of ways to do this. If you want individual help, reach out to me. I've done and seen and been involved in and helped people with all of these models, from white labeling, from drop shipping, from buy, resell, all kinds of stuff. Now, I want to spend the rest of the time talking about businesses that consist of your own intellectual property, the services that you have because of your life experience. You have a set of skills that you learn. Maybe you sold them in the marketplace as an architect or an attorney or a painter or whatever, right? You have a set of gifts that you were given by God when you were created. Things that you do naturally well, you have those. Maybe you've downplayed them, maybe you haven't used them, or maybe you have. You also have a set of rich and textured life experience. Those three things together can create your most effective offering. Your skills, gifts, and life experience. That life experience is what drove my friend to create We Don't Die. It has driven another friend of mine to create a group to help people learn to freelance. It has driven me to be a coach. When I made a radical life change in 2007, almost 18 years ago, I knew I needed to begin to help others with what I was discovering about life, about growth, about forgiveness, about changing who you're being. Because I lived until I was 52 under the blanket or the brick wall that fell on me of depression, believing I wasn't good enough and couldn't, be okay and couldn't get the stamp of approval on my forehead for myself or anyone else. Radical events happened in 2007. I began a journey that has lasted till today, 17 and a half years and counting. And I'm excited every moment, every second. Why? Because it is so much fun. What am I doing? Sharing my life experience with people. Products and services is how you do that. If you want to go beyond social memes or talking here and there, but you want to actually create a business or a side hustle, you have to present something to the marketplace. You can't just hope that it shows up. So how do you do that? Well, you have to decide what it is. That was your value proposition. And then you have to figure out how you want to sell it. Do you want to write a book? Do you want to create a program? 7 steps to helping your teenager with self-esteem. 15 ways to overcome boredom in your job. 7 ways to get the courage to start your own business. I mean, there's 1,000. I'm not even going to pretend to try to list them. As a coach, I went through lots of things. One of the things I know how to do is appear on video, be energetic and powerful on camera and on stage. So I teach people how to speak. I teach people how to sell from stage. I teach people how to be powerful in person and on video, because video is so prevalent in the marketplace these days. It's practically taken everything over. But that wasn't enough. So I started there, and I knew how to do those things. So guess what? I created products and services around those. I had a product called Why Your Video Marketing Sucks. .com. I owned that website, and I sold a video marketing course and how to produce them and how to show up, et cetera, et cetera. I had a business called Speed to Profit Marketing, which wasn't all the SEO and other kinds of things. It was really about how to show up online, in what places, and how to do things so that you could create a following and create business. Today, and I've been through all those things, today, one of the things I love to do is help people tell their stories and write books, because I have learned to do that so well, telling my story and writing 20 books. I have 20 and more coming. I'm in the middle of one right now and 3 more on the drawing board. So the idea of creating products and services is simple. You have to figure out what you're willing to spend time to create. What are you willing to do? You know, the idea, well, I should write a book, or I could create a product. I could do this, I could do that. Could is kind of like cud. I know it's spelled C-O-U-L-D. I could do this, but we say could. I could do this, I could do that. And it reminds me of a cow's cud. We chew it and chew it and chew it. I could. Yeah, you could, but you're not. So creating products and services is next. Again, I'm offering help. This is what I do. I'm the best there is. I can help you create products, services, frameworks, books, video courses, keynote speeches, workshops, all of that, because I've done it all and done it successfully. So if you're feeling the yearning to do that, let's talk. Reach out to me. The URL on the screen, KellanFlukigerMedia.com. Go there. You'll see things that I've created, but there's also an email there for you to reach out and get a hold of me and just tell me you want to talk. Let's find out how you can add good to the world and create a business of whatever level you want, tiny, medium, or large. My business right now this year is to help 300 million people create wealth and impact using their skills, existing gifts, and life experience, rolling that into what I call your triple helix, your most effective offering. And this is supposed to be a rope. Skip these 2 things, 3 strands woven together. So when you think about creating products and services, and you think about there's 2 parts to this. What could you do is just the bare beginning. What are you willing to create is the next thing. I could write a book. Yeah. Are you willing to write a book? If you want to, again, that's something I do to help. I've written a book about how to write books. If you want to create a course online, a knowledge-based course where you have 10 videos or 12 videos where you teach people how to do a skill or process, and you give them homework. If you want to create some kind of a coaching program to augment that, because do-it-yourself courses, only about 5% of people finish those. They buy them with good intentions. You've done that, so have I, and then nobody finishes. Well, one way to help them finish is to stay engaged, create a community. I was just on a podcast of a friend of mine who's fabulous at creating community. And when you do that, people can stay engaged if you stay engaged. You can monetize by creating a membership site. And there's ways to do that, and a cadence in which you have to put stuff in there, et cetera, et cetera. So these are all just ideas of things that I have done, that I know how to do, and that make you money. Now, when you are thinking about it, you need to answer several questions. FAB, features, advantages, benefits. Features, advantages, benefits. Sometimes people think the features are important. So they'll say things like, we meet for 12 weeks in a row in a very important group coaching thing, and it's powerful and it's really good. Well, that is a feature. People don't buy features. You have to get all the way to the benefit. Advantages are reasons that your features are effective. You can think of them as better, but sometimes, in fact, most of the time, different is more important than better, because different and better, the better is in the eye of the beholder. So if you resonate more effectively with women between 35 and 50, then the fact that you're doing it is an advantage. I really have a powerful message. I'm not saying this for me. I'm pretending I'm you and you're a woman. For women between 35 and 50 who've gone through a divorce and have been left on their own all of a sudden and have to fend for themselves. And I have a powerful message. I've been through that. I've learned some things, and I can help you both with the grief, the betrayal, the trauma, and with getting back on your feet and getting back in shape again. Like, I'm saying that because I have a client. Guess what? That was their message. So even if you have a message that sounds a lot like someone else's message, you're completely different. You're unique. Your experience is unique. And that is the advantage to those who resonate with your age, your gender, your experience, the type of thing that you had. Maybe depending on certain things, your ethnicity. I have a client right now that really appeals to Black women because she is, and that's where her voice resonates most. So rather than worry about other people, she's really focusing on that market niche, because every market segment needs way more people in it than there is. People say, well, it's crowded. No, it's not. No, it's not. The need is infinite. The only thing that keeps you from moving is your fear, and fear destroys more dreams than anything else. So if you want help, figuring out what your products and services are, figuring out what the features are, the advantages, and the benefits. Now, we didn't talk about benefits. Every benefit starts with the phrase, so that you can. So that you can. And here's the thing. If you know a lot about your market segment, okay, I'm thinking now of this woman that I have as a client who creates products and services for Black women and she's been through a divorce, but she's a professional woman, and so it's about how to overcome the emotional things, raise her kids, and do stuff. So she speaks. That's her main thing right now, although she's working on a book. So, excuse me. Wow, sorry, sneeze in the middle. Just leave it in. That's humanity for us. So that her features are the coaching program that she offers. The advantages is she's really focused on Black women of a particular age who have gone through a set of experiences. The benefit of that is because it's easy to relate to for her market segment, and that doesn't prevent other people from buying it, but she's really focused on the reasons she is powerfully connected with that particular market segment. And one of the things people say all the time, and we're going to talk about this next episode, which is about marketing and finding prospects. Here's the thing that happens. Most people think, well, I need to start finding people right away before you've even got an offering clear. Your offering doesn't depend on your market. Your market depends on your offering. So your market comes directly out of your unique selling proposition. I said, find your value proposition. That was episode 932. You got to find that. And then you got to create products and services around that. A mistake I made and many make is, well, I'll be leaving these out and maybe I can broaden it and include this, that, and the other. And all that does is water down your message. You're less effective. Nobody's listening. People want something that's tailor-made for them. It's one of the things I do in my coaching. I guarantee anything I give you is absolutely tailor-made for you. And yeah, I have experience teaching people to speak and speaking and creating products and services and creating community and writing books and in group coaching and private coaching. But when I talk to you, it's all about you. What do you have? What do you want? And I use my wealth of experience to help you, but not to shape you, because you have maybe you haven't discovered it yet, but your unique value proposition, and you build a superpower, you build your products and services from that value proposition, nothing else. Nothing else. And the idea that you got to sandwich your offering into the market is nonsense. All that does is water it down, make it less effective, and guarantee you're going to flop. Plop. No good. Instead, have courage in the truth that you are unique. Have courage in the absolute truth that you have something important and powerful to offer. Have courage in the fact that there's all kinds of guidance. Me, and if you don't use me, there's others. But get the guidance you need. Why? So you avoid the mistakes and wasting time. I can't tell you, I hired a lot of coaches and went to a lot of events, hundreds. But I also made tons of mistakes because I didn't listen well enough. I didn't lean in well enough. I let my fear, which I said wrecks more things than anything else, get in the way. And I kept making excuses about how come I needed not to be so narrow or broaden my market or worry about excluding this, that, and the other. So let's go back to the fundamental truth. Build your product and service based on two things and two things only. What is your superpower? We talked about that in episode 932. Find it and make products and services dependent on that maximize your life experience, your skills, and your gifts. Maximize those things. When you do that, you'll have a true superpower. And that piece of the market that needs you and your voice will resonate immediately. They'll line up and pay you because you're talking to them. You're talking to them. So don't water down your features, advantages, and benefits. And remember, benefits are so you can. So if I were telling you, I'm telling you, get a hold of me if you want to. The feature is we will have a conversation about your stuff. The advantage of that fact is that it's going to be absolutely custom tailored to you. The benefit is so that you can create your products and services exactly like you want, that feel powerful, that resonate with your heart, and where you are confident and you know you can add good to the world and deliver value to the market. So that's features, advantage, and benefits of this call and this invitation to have a conversation with me. Now, here's what I know for sure. I know for sure you've had life experience that if you shared it with the right people, you might be their salvation. You might be the very thing that makes a difference between life and death, success and failure, giving up and hanging on. I know that's true. The second thing I know for true is that that group of people numbers in the millions. It's not 2 or 3 or 10 or 50. Hundreds of thousands or millions will fit precisely the model, the narrow target that you're talking about. I know that because it's never not been true. Every single person I've ever talked to, when we go through the process of, in a custom way, figuring out what they have to offer and who would benefit from it, specifically, it's clear immediately that there would be a ton of people. Holy cow, a ton of people I could affect, bless, and love with what I have experienced, what I know, what I've learned, what I know how to do and would love to share. That leaves you super excited because you're not doing peripheral stuff. You're doing the thing that you want to do, that you're yearning to do. So that is so powerful, important, and beautiful. So I'm inviting you, go to KellanFlukigerMedia.com. Okay? Get the email there. You can check out all the things we're doing, but go to get the email there and reach out. Let's get your superpower, your products and services organized. I can help you with all of that and would love to. The third invitation is this. Why are you waiting? Start now. There's never been an easier time to reach the world and to make money than right now. You don't need to do anything. You can stay right where you're at. But if you want to change the world in a medium way or a big way or a small way, but the bigger your desire is to change the world, the more important this invitation is. Let's talk. I'd love to get to know you, first of all, because loving and learning to get to know people is my business, and I love doing it. Second, I know for sure you have something valuable. Third, I also know for sure that fear's in your way. You may be calling it, it's not my season. I don't have time. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Nobody'd listen to me, and all the rest of that nonsense. It is nonsense. People will listen to you. I can show you exactly where to start. We can figure out exactly what you can create, and you can decide exactly how you want to present it to the world. That's all possible. It's just you're not started yet. So I'm inviting you to get started. I know for sure your divine origin and your skills, gifts, and talents make you completely unique. So I don't care if there's 5,000 people talking about the same thing. Your voice is different. Your voice is powerful. Your voice is needed. I want to hear your story. I want to help you fashion your amazing offering. I want to help you attract the exact clients, the exact people, the exact group that would benefit from your existing skills, your gifts, and your life experience. I also know for sure you haven't gone through the exercise of creating your MEO, your most effective offering, your superpower, because I'm the only one that teaches that. So unless we've talked, you haven't done that yet. I guarantee it will be a massive revelation. It'll blow your mind and make you so excited you can hardly stand it. So I invite you, go to KellanFlukigerMedia.com. I invite you not only to look that over, but to reach out and let's have a conversation and see how we can help you add good to the world and create anything you want. And I invite you to connect on all the socials. I'd love to get to know you. I invite you to share this. Share this with someone you know who needs the push, the invitation, the nudge to create their own movement, however small or however big, and add good to the world. All of these things are joyous opportunities as you move forward and create your ultimate life.
Never hold back and you'll never ask why. Open your heart and this time around.
Right here, right now. Your opportunity for massive growth is right in front of you. Every episode gives you practical tips and practices that will change everything. If you want to know more, go to KellanFlukigerMedia.com. If you want more free tools, go here, YourUltimateLife.ca. Subscribe. Share.
Stand with your heart in the sky and your feet on the ground.